to my channel. My name is Tania, and if you're stopping by for the first time, then welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing, and hopefully my regrowth won't put you off, but you know, COVID. And if you're not so new to my channel, then thank you so much for your support. Today I'm going to do the 50 odd things about me tag, and I was tagged by WinnieBeeLV to do this, and I will link her channel below, and I'll also put her name here. If you don't know Winnie, you need to go over and see her. If by any chance you don't know her, head over and watch a few of her videos. I have to tell you, hands down, she is one of the most entertaining YouTubers in the luxe community that I've come across so far. She mixes and blends a combination or a variety of high-end and affordable, and she starts each video with a story, and even before she gets to a story, her intro is it's out there. Let's put it that way. She calls herself the mouth of the South. Well, Winnie, I'm more South than you, but yeah, you've got the mouth. So this is the tag where we just disclose to everybody very, you know, informative bits of information about ourselves. 50 odd things about me. So some of these things, some of you will already know. Some of them probably might just be likes and dislikes. I know that I'm quirky at times, but I don't know how odd I am. If you're not subscribed to Winnie, you need to go over and subscribe to Winnie, because she's a hoot. Her stories, her one-liners, she just comes out with these beauties. I love me a one-liner. Anyway, so I will do this today, and I will also be doing a get ready with me. That's why I am very barefaced. Okay, so I'm going to be looking here, and when I do that, it's because I'm looking in my mirror just to apply some makeup. I'm not going to do anything too advanced, just something pretty simple. And so I thought I may as well do the video and a get ready with me in one. Okay, first thing, I'm a Leo, and apparently Leos are attention seeking. And apparently Leos love the limelight, and given that I'm on YouTube, people would probably say that about me, but I don't do this for attention or limelight. I do this because it's a hobby and I wanted to share a like with others. I have two younger brothers. I'm the eldest, and of the three of us, I am the least street smart. So I know I'm book smart, but street smart, not so much. But yeah, that's something that I'm hoping to improve now as I'm moving on with my life. Next one, I am a teacher, and I'm a secondary school teacher, and I teach currently just English, as in just that one subject, but I do have qualifications to teach Italian, English, and IT. I have taught Italian to little children, high school students, and to adults as a second language. And I've taught RE, which is religious education. I've taught that up to year 11, which is essentially ethics. I've taught history up to year 11. I love history. I have taught geography to year 10, which is like middle school, I think. I have taught music also to year 10. And the reason I taught music is because, another little side point, I used to play the piano, and I played it for many years. And since from when I met my ex, I never touched the piano again. So I haven't played it for over 20 years. I can speak some French, I can read it, I can pronounce it, I can sort of understand it. Je le parle seulement un peu. But, you know, yeah, that's that. And when I was younger, I always wanted to be a teacher, but there were a few times when I thought, oh, maybe I can be something else, you know? So at one stage I wanted to be an archaeologist, and Mum said to me, no, I don't think there's much work in that field. I said, yeah, I think you're right. And then the second option was to be a policewoman. I think I just liked that idea of power of some kind. And Mum said, no, you're not going to be a policewoman, you'll get shot and die. I said, okay, I won't be a policewoman. So that's that. I love fruit. I love all fruits. Have you ever had chocolate fruit? I've never had that, but I want to try that. I know it's grown in northern Queensland, so I'd like to try that one day. I love all fruits, except what I hate about fruit is, you know, the fuzz on a peach. I can't stand that. I cannot just like pluck a peach off a tree and pluck or pick, anyway, and just bite into it, because all those little furry bits, they just go on my lips, and I was like, yuck, no thanks. I can't swim. Yeah, can't swim. When I say that though, like I have my own hybrid version, but I can't swim. I've always been scared of water, so I can't swim. I have never been anywhere outside of Australia, like overseas. I don't even have a passport. I never got one because we never went anywhere, and as a kid we never went anywhere, and then in my married life I never went anywhere. So for those of you who know me, you would know my dad was a butcher. So I grew up living behind the butcher shop. We used to have a premises behind the store, and I spent a lot of my Saturdays and my school holidays in the shop helping him, serving customers. I learned all my mental arithmetic. I learned all the cuts of meat. I learned how to cut meat. I learned how to cook meat. Not that you do that in a butcher, but you know, it's all related. I would put my mental arithmetic, which I am very proud of and I'm very good at. I don't need a calculator for a lot of computing. I will put that down to having worked in the shop. We didn't have the automated fancy electric cash registers, so everything was, you know, here or worked out on paper. So, and if we ever made a little mistake, then we rectified it. I am not a princess. Now, people would think that, oh, you like luxury bags and you put makeup on and you like shoes and nice clothes and fashion. Yes, but that doesn't make me a princess, because believe me, if I tell you the amount of physical hard work I've done out in the garden, and when I look this way, I'm looking outside into my mum's garden. I've helped build retaining walls. I've helped dig big holes to put posts in and put cement around them to build a shed. I've carried loads of, oh gosh, heavy stuff, for lack of a better word. I've pushed and pulled and wheelbarrows and shoveling and, you know, loading and unloading, and oh my God, let me just say that these hands, they're not pretty little princessy hands, because I've done a fair share of non-princess things. Having said that though, here I am saying I'm not a princess, but I do love a very pretty, beautiful teacup. You know, those lovely Versace teacups, or the Wedgwood ones, or, you know, any of those. I love those. I think they're so beautiful. But I don't drink tea, so I haven't bought any, because if I start, then oh boy. I hate buying fruit and veg in odd numbers. So it's really strange, because when I go to the shops, if I'm buying loose fruit, I don't include those ones that come already pre-packed, but if I'm buying like loose fruit, I would have to put an even number of pieces of fruit in the bag. So 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever, you know, and if I happen to have 9 apples in a bag, then I think that's just not right. It's just not right. I either take one out or I put another one in. So that's really quirky about me. I don't know why. It's really odd. I love to dance and sing in the car, and I often do that, and I'm doing all the, you know, the moves and everything, especially if a favorite song comes on. I love doing that. And yeah, people sometimes look at me oddly, you know, like, what is she up to? But oh well, for them it's a free show, but that's okay. It's okay. I can handle that. I love dressing up, and by dressing up I mean I like looking put together. I think that comes from mum always looking very well put together. Growing up, she always taught me it's very important to look presentable and neat and tidy. I still have my sloppy days, you know, when I'm just around the house, or if I'm working in the garden or something like that. But predominantly, I like the idea of dressing up. I don't do the hobo slob look very well. And I'm a child of the 80s, so everything's got to be matchy-matchy. Okay, I hate bad breath. I really do, and I'm always conscious that I don't want to have bad breath, so I tend to overcompensate by always having gum or a mint with me. I have numerous packets of gum in my bags, in my desk drawer, in my car, anywhere. Even if I've had a coffee before going to class or something, I'll always pop in a mint, because I don't like coffee breath either. Toes. I'm not a fan of toes. Yeah, toes are not great. And knees. I don't like knees much. This will probably be a little bit odd, but a feature that I like on a man is biceps. And when I say that, I don't mean the, you know, bodybuilder, overworked, bulbous, lumpy biceps. I don't like those at all. If anything, that puts me off. I just like a naturally muscular, defined, sculpted arm. You know how they have, and I suppose it's from someone who works out and looks after themselves. You know, they've got that nice definition across the shoulder, moves down the arm, and you just see that curve. Oh my God. still talking about men in a very appropriate manner. I don't like facial hair, as in beards. I don't like full beards. I think they're ugly. They're very off-putting to me. I just imagine what's in there, stuck in there. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I do like the after 5 shadow, you know, just that's just that beginning that gives them a slightly rough look, if I can say that. But full-blown moustaches, goatees, I don't like dirty nails, you know, so mine are often short, but I always make a point of making sure they're clean. I don't like dirty nails, you know, when they've got grime all in there and then all around the cuticle and the edge. And I know in some lines of work that happens, you know, and that can't be helped, and I get that. So yeah, I just there's something about dirty nails that puts me off. I've always wanted a pixie cut, and I have had short hair before in the past, but I want to go back there. I want to sort of do that, you know, really short back, but I'm thinking something like that, you know, with that longish top part. I reckon that might be all right. The only thing that's putting me off is, of course, the growing out stage, because that ain't pretty. When I go up the stairs, I take 2 at a time. Not when I'm at work or if I'm wearing a skirt. I hate the sound people make when they slurp. You know, when people eat noisily? I mean, crunching is different because sometimes something is crunchy. You can't help that. But I hate and I hate that chewing with their mouths open and speaking with mouths full, and oh, it's so uncouth. I can't stand it. And I know I sound really snobby at the moment, but I just can't stand that sound, simply because I was taught table manners as a child. Mum always taught me, and I know all the etiquette. I just can't stand noisy, slappy eaters and slurpers. You know, I can't stand it. You know, people do this. Why do that? Why drink like that? Just drink quietly. Just sorry. I just can't stand noisy eating. In relation to noise, I hate unnecessary noise. You know, like those loud motorcycles, like the exhaust. Is it the exhaust or the muffler or whatever that makes that over-exaggerated sound? Or cars, you know, like hoons that have those revved up cars that make that loud noise. I can't stand it. I like to color coordinate my clothes in my wardrobes. I hate losing things. There's something about it. It annoys me. It makes me feel like I've failed at something. I hate losing things. I have 3 kids, 2 boys, a girl, 18, 17, and 13. And I have to say that we get along really, really well. I'm really proud of the relationship I have with my kids. They talk to me, they tell me lots, maybe not everything, but lots. And we get along, and yeah, we play tricks on each other, we joke around. I love it, I love it. They're my everything. They're my everything, more than anyone else. Another thing about me that some of you may know, and my closest friends and family certainly do know, I'm very direct. But when I'm direct, I'm not mean and I'm not nasty. I will always be polite and appropriate, but I will say what needs to be said. And sometimes I'm also that person that says what most people think, but don't say it. And so, you know, there have been times when that has not necessarily gotten me into trouble, but it has, you know, perhaps made people think of me a certain way or created a certain perception of me. But essentially, I'm very direct and I say what needs to be said. And I appreciate people who are upfront and honest and direct with me too. I don't like when food stuff is left lying around. You know how like some people leave bits and pieces of food scraps in the sink drain, or they leave plates just sitting on the bench with half-eaten food and you've got to scrape it off and then it goes dry. Sometimes that happens at work and it really annoys me. It's like, people, clean up after yourselves, you know. Don't like that. In summer, I walk around the house barefoot. I don't wear flip-flops. We call them thongs here. I don't wear flip-flops. And in winter, I'll wear socks. I don't wear slippers much. I don't know why. I just like this idea of my feet being bare. Yeah, so another thing, I am a front sleeper. Now, that's not necessarily odd. I know that, but something about sleeping on my front that I love. I like to sleep on my front, my head on my side, and one leg sticking out at a 90-degree angle. I don't know why. I don't know. I just do that. And in relation to sleeping, I cannot stand when my back is exposed. Anytime if my back is exposed, I don't like that feeling, especially when I'm sleeping. I like the blanket to sort of cocoon me and come all the way around and hug my body. I like that. I feel safe and secure and warm. And yeah, you know, like when you sleep with someone, we share a bed with someone and they pull the blanket, you pull the blanket, and then you've got that gap in the middle, you know, that empty space. I hate that. I hate that. And so, you know, segueing into my next odd thing, I prefer to sleep alone. Yeah, I prefer to sleep alone. I can just, the bed's mine. I can move how I like, do what I like. I just prefer to sleep alone. In relation to sleeping, in winter, I sleep with socks on. I cannot not wear socks, and if my feet are cold, I can't sleep. When I was a teenager, Mum took me to an orthodontist, and I needed, not braces, but because I didn't need that much work on my teeth, but I needed to wear a night brace. But I had to wear like a retainer with two little sort of like exposed hooks, and then I had to wear like this sort of foam open harness with two strips and then two loops that would hook on, and I had to wear that overnight just to sort of like straighten my teeth a little bit. And I hated it, but grateful now. It's like what I tell all my students now: hate me now, love me later. And that's a classic example, because having a straight smile, straight teeth, oh, I think it's beautiful. I've never broken a bone in my body, praise God. Touch wood, it won't happen. I have only had 2 surgeries in all my life, also, thank God. Both were child related. I had a Caesar for Fabian, my second son. He was a big baby. Yeah, he was a biggie. And so a result of that is that my cut is larger than a standard Caesar cut. And my other surgery was an ectopic. So, well, surgery to remove a part of a fallopian tube. So before having my 3 kids, I had an ectopic pregnancy, and that came out of the blue. That just like surprised the hell out of me. But anyway, long story short, that was my first ever surgery, and I was in my late 20s at the time. I recently got into luxury buying, so about 5 or so years ago. I'd never bought it before in the past. This was just something relatively new. Once I started working full-time again, I started saving, and then I learned about the pre-loved market, and then I started buying. I've been accused of having stolen money from the account to buy myself these luxury items, but I never did that. I just saved, and then of course family would give me gifts, as in money or actual items and vouchers, and I used to put those towards the buying of my luxury goods. Another thing, I still like Michael Jackson's music, and I feel guilty about that because of everything, but yeah, I still like his music. I don't know, how do you feel about that? I cannot stand slow walkers. So if I'm out and about, or in a shopping center or supermarket or something, and someone's just wandering around, casually ambling around slowly, it drives me crazy. I get walk rage because I'm just naturally a fast walker, and get out of my way because I've got things to do. I don't like sand, so I don't mind going to the beach. The beach is actually fine, but I don't like sand. You know, sand gets everywhere, and you know, especially if it's a windy day, you know, the day after the beach, you're still blowing sand out of your nose, and I think to myself, oh my gosh, sand and flies. Don't like flies. We have a lot of flies here in Victoria. Can't stand flies. I have never lived alone. I never traveled alone. I haven't done anything like that, and I'd like to one day, and I hope to one day, soon as lockdown is over, as soon as we're allowed to start traveling interstate again, I am going to go and visit Sydney. I've never been to Sydney, and I'm a city girl. I love the city. I want to go to Sydney. I bruise very, very easily. You know, there are often times I've come up with a bruise and I think, where the hell did that come from? Yeah, I'm not a very sort of pet-minded person, but who knows, maybe when I live on my own, I'll probably buy one. Well guys, that's my video for you there, the 50 or so odd things about me. I hope you found this interesting. Feel free to write comments about anything that I have said. Thank you, Winnie, for tagging me. I really appreciate the tag. I'd like to tag a couple of others. Lisa Loves Bags, Andrea and Katie Cadell, and Mimi from Chateau Chic. So take care everybody, God bless, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.